Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will be covering the biomedical admission test or the BMAT and everything you need to know related to it. So let's begin. So BMAT, so it's a test for medicine, dentistry, biomedical science and veterinary. And it's sat on the 3rd of November. So in this year, it'll be sat on 3rd of November. It might change next year, and you will get your results back on the 25th of November this year. And the test center is probably your school or your college. And if you're not studying at a school or college, you might have to find a center to do your testing. And the cost of the BMAT is £61. And there is a bursary available. So if you got a bursary for the UCAT, if you sat the UCAT, you should also be eligible for the BMAT, and I would recommend getting a bursary if you're eligible. And the BMAT, like the UCAT, is would take 2 hours, and it's multiple choice again, but this time there are 5 options instead of 4, and like they were in the UCAT, and it's computer based again. And this time there are 3 sections. There's the thinking skills section, the scientific knowledge and application section, and the writing section finally. And I will be going in more detail in a bit. And in this, there are no calculators allowed. But the maths in this BMAT won't be hard, so you would not need the calculator anyways. You should be fine with mental maths. Okay, so the BMAT universities. So these are the universities that require the BMAT for medicine. So it includes Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial College, University College London, Leeds, Brighton in Sussex, and Lancaster. So the first section of the BMAT, thinking skills. So there are 32 questions in the thinking skills section, and it is the longest section. It is 60 minutes, and this gives you 112 seconds per question, so just below 2 minutes. And the main 2 bits of this section are problem solving and critical thinking. And just to make you aware that this section is very preparable, and there are the same type of questions that come up each year, and if you can get the hang of them, then you should be getting high marks for this section. And 112 seconds per question this time should be enough. It shouldn't be like the UCAT where you were very time pressured, so you should be fine with this. And the main question types include identifying main conclusion, drawing conclusion from a paragraph, identifying assumption, and detecting reasoning errors. So a typical question might be something like this. So you might be given a paragraph, and you can have a go at this question if you want, and you being asked which of the following best expresses the main conclusion of the above argument. So again, you have been given 5 options to choose from, and whichever sums up the paragraph, whichever mainly concludes the paragraph, would be the right option. There might be more than one answer to this, but it's asking for the main conclusion. So if there's another thing mentioned in this paragraph, you ignore it, but whichever is mentioned most, you would use that for this question. And another one here, you've been provided with a paragraph, and then you ask which of the following is an underlying assumption. So in this question, you would be required to find out which one and which of the options you can't fully conclude from the paragraph, and therefore making that an assumption. Okay, so the scientific knowledge and application section. So in this, there are 27 questions, and there are 30 minutes for this section. So that roughly gives you 66 seconds per question. And this section will test your GCSE biology, chemistry, physics, and maths. So there will be 7 questions from each of the biology, chemistry, and physics, and there will be 6 questions from maths. So a typical question. So this is a maths question, and you're being asked, when did Lucy's shares have the biggest percentage increase? So if you might be aware of the percentage increase formula, so you'd be required to use this in this question and work out the correct option. And this another example. So in this is more of a biology question. You're being tested on reflex arcs and neurotransmitters, and you're required to choose the statements that are correct. Right, so finally, the writing section is probably the most disliked section, and this again is 30 minutes, and you're being asked to write one essay out of 3 choices. And the choices usually are is the general choice, usually a quote, historical, and something to do with philosophy, and a scientific topic, and a medicine related topic. So in this you have 550 word limit, so you can't waffle in this. You should know what you meant to be talking about. So an example of a topic is a little learning is a dangerous thing. This is a quote from Alexander Pope, and the question is asking what this statement means first of all, and argue to the contrary to show that a little learning is not dangerous. To what extent do you think learning can be a dangerous thing? So you should be covering all aspects of the question to get the highest marks. So scores. So how is the BMAT scored? So for section A, you would be given a score from 1 to 9 based on how many marks you would get, and the same for section B. But for section C, it's slightly different. You would be given 1 to 5 on the quality of content, and you would be given either A, B, C, D, E on the quality of English that's being used. So section C is marked by 2 examiners, and the scores are combined. So for example, if you got A and if you got C, then it would be halfway through and you would get B. So this is how the scores are combined. And for the quality of content, which is 1 to 5, you can also get scores in decimals. So for example, 1.5 and 2.5. So the most students score between 4 to 5, and this is how it's the BMAT is designed. And 6+ would be a very, very good score. So looking at the scores from 2019, as you can see, section 1 from 2019 again, so 4.125 is probably the most scored marks. And again for section B, it's the same. So between again 4 and 5. And for section 3, again, like I said, you might be given a score in decimals, so you can be given 1.5. But most people have got 3 in this, and anything above 3.53 is a good score. And a lot of people worry about the quality of English, but it's not really meant to be professional, and just the grammar should be fine. And like you can see, 70% get an A, so it's not really that strict. So you would be fine if you are not making a lot of errors.